Friends, good morning and welcome. Very happy Dashera and all other festivals. This is a period of festivals in India, particularly, and this is also a period of remembering or identifying evil from good. Dashera, particularly, is the festival where evil is vanquished. The question we want to discuss is not a festival or Dashera, but we want to discuss why there is evil. In today's society, evil has always been there in the world. In Satyuga, there was 20 to 0 to 25%. In Treta, it was 25 to 50%. In Dwapar, it was 50 to 75%. And Kaliyuga, it is 75 to 100%. Hopefully, the 100% may not happen, like zero rarely comes. But fact is, evil is an important factor. Today, we are seeing war between Armenia and Azerbaijan. We have discussed it at two occasions earlier. First, when 14 days later, a peace effort was made and war started within 5 minutes again. Thereafter again, second effort was made and war again started after 5 minutes. Question is, Russia is trying, America is trying, others are trying, but there are also people who are fueling. Why this evil? Those who are fueling also suffer, not today, tomorrow. Today they are making money. More or less all those who are fueling this war are weapon sellers or land grabbers. Weapon sellers for their own profits, for their own market, and land grabbers for grabbing new land in the garb of war. Therefore, both these things are connected with human mind. And human mind is made by education. Therefore, there must be something missing in the education which is making people evil. That is the issue we have raised earlier also, but we are raising again today on this occasion, because the first part, the market, the marketing, the management education. Basically, the competition is taught, but competition without values becomes corruption. Rather than making my line taller than others, people start looking for cutting others' line to make it shorter. That is the evil in the education. They don't want to struggle to acquire competences. They don't want to work hard to acquire values. They don't want to work hard to create valuable products which can be marketed with public interest. They create evil and sell evil goods like weapons to create wealth. This is the first evil in the society today. The second one, population, everybody knows, is a problem, also an asset. If population is good, educated, value-based, it's asset. But if population is growing like the animal kingdom, then it only eats into each other and land grabbing becomes a necessity. There are certain religious philosophies, there are certain national philosophies which teach produce more and more and more or grab others. Both these thinkings are dangerous. Because when you produce more children, the house in which you live today with 2 will be needed for 100 tomorrow. You cannot accommodate them, hence you will grab others' houses. Same way, land. Those who are living in one land and have a land grabbing policy at a national level, so you don't need a local mafia. Nation is the mafia, and they will go to others' land and try to grab it. This is again education, bad education. Why education has become a tool of this evil is something which we must examine. I recall our young days, teachers were good and were those who really enjoyed teaching and did it as a service. But in our childhood itself, when we were slightly growing, we also saw that those who were educated means they got some form of degree or certificate, but could not get a job. Many influential people pushed their children or their wards or their supports into education as teachers, because it was all government controlled and the vacancies could be filled with recommendations, etc. First place where the corruption started in education was schools, where teachers were those who were not interested in education, but were those who wanted to make money and career, hence they never came to the schools. Somebody else ran on their behalf, or children only sat at home and studied, and people collected their pay. The stories are rampant. If you go into the old and new newspapers and reports, we can find how many schools did not have teachers who were appointed but not attending. Second place is the recent education, modern education. We gave example of management education, where competition is the rule of the day, and competition without values becomes corruption, and hence corruption is the way. I recall I had set up 4 companies and I had to close all 4, mainly because you cannot do business in our country without paying under the table, and employees also got used to it, so they will take 100 from the office to pay to somebody and keep 50 in the pocket or more in the pocket and pay rest to the person from whom they are getting job. Since there is no receipt issued for such payments, the corruption went into offices, into organizations, and world is in front of us today. Consequently, India has organizations, but not businesses which are really growing. It is only trading with commissions, doing projects with commissions, which is basically corruption. Taking money without receipts is the another place. But the worst is in very recent times. Privatization of education required approvals, and approvals came for the money. Hence corruption started. Colleges were given approval by taking money, where there was no college, there was no infrastructure, there were no teachers, and colleges were approved. Children were at school, admitted in the school and given certificates, and everybody is happy. Then came the next phase in education of universities. Since colleges slowly started overgrowing and closing also, the people resorted to making universities. And universities are autonomous, so you don't need even to go to government except one approval in the beginning, and you can issue certificates after certificates after certificates without caring for anyone. So it became a market for the false certificates. Certificates printed in the press and issued for the money. Since the system allows stamped signatures, the one who is signing does not even know that a degree or a certificate or a PhD has been issued in under his signatures or her signatures. This is the last stage of corruption in education. But even before that, I was in one state where suddenly the enlightened government took a decision that all universities will be made into companies, and their chairmen, their chancellors will be made chairmen, and their VCs will be made the presidents. Oh, very good. Corporatize the university. And what is corporation? And what is corporate world? Corruption. Hence, corruption which was in the corporate world entered the education. So today, education is more corrupt because it is autonomous, it is under NGOs, so they are not supposed to make profit, but nobody can live without profit, nobody can live without money, and hence corruption and corruption and corruption. When we have such systems which are only producing corrupt minds, education is the tool of making minds. When a student is corrupt, he becomes teacher or she becomes teacher tomorrow, she becomes corrupt. And hence the whole system becomes corrupt. So education has become the whole house of corruption today. And if education, which is a tool of making minds, becomes the house of corruption, evil will be the only thing available in the society. Therefore, today Indian society is tortured by the evil perpetuated from education, from corporate, from government, and all other segments under NGOs and non-NGOs and whatnot, and society is suffering. Probably countries like China or others who are perpetuating war, etc., right, probably are even more advanced than India in corruption, and hence they don't even bother now. They drop the bombs on the civilians, they use UAVs for making money and killing the living beings. This is the state of affairs in the world today. If this is the state of evil, where from the good will come? The people. The people have to rise and raise voice against corrupt leaders, corrupt politicians, corrupt administrators, corrupt teachers, corrupt entrepreneurs, corrupt organizations. That's the only way the society can be clean, else God will do something like Corona for this corruption also. God bless all. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.